everyone, it's Cassie and welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be my February wrap up, are all the books I read in February. I feel very good about what I read in February. Honestly, I've never read this many books in a month in my life. I might have when I was younger, but in a long time. And no, I didn't read like 10 plus books. I'm not that girl. I will probably never be that girl. Maybe, who knows, in the summer I could probably do some damage. But I read 5 books and I'm quite happy with that. So if you want to see this makeup look, it'll be up on my other channel. It'll probably be up after this video, but when it's up, I will link it in the description box. If you like this video, make sure to subscribe and give it a big thumbs up. Comment down below what you read in February, or comment down below some recommendations for me, because I do have all these books to read, but I'm always looking for more recommendations. And turn on post notifications so you never miss an upload from me. Let's just get into the video. I read 5 books this month. Half good, half not so good. The first book that I read was The Cousins from Karen M. McManus. I have read, I think, all of her books. I think I have, and so I think I'm gonna do a video like author wrap up or what I think of her writing and stuff. So if you want to see that, make sure to comment down below and let me know. But this one is her newest book, I believe. This book follows the Story family, who is very, very rich, and I think they own the island, but I could be confused because I don't fully remember. They either own the island or just own the resort on the island, and so they're very, very rich. This follows the youngest generation of the family, the cousins. When the parents were teenagers, just at college, they were disinherited. I think it's disinherited. It's not uninherited. Disinherited from their inheritance from their parents, and their mother told them to never come see her again, and that they know why. That's the whole thing, is you know what you did, so never come and see me again. This goes to present time, where the cousins are invited to work on the island at the resort from their grandma. Parents convince all of the kids to go and work there. I will say the first 100 pages are a little slow. There's a little bit too much background that's not needed, or the time before they get on the island that's kind of just not needed. You hit that 100 page mark, it's pretty hard to put down. For the first time ever, I was reading 2 books at once because I couldn't fully get into this book, so I was starting to read Flawless from the Pretty Little Liars series. Once I got to that 100 page mark, I didn't read the other book at the same time. I think this was super good. There's just like a million twists and turns. I think I kind of guess what happens, but not fully. So there is like a romance in this, and it's kind of weird, but technically this isn't gonna make sense if you haven't read the book, but like technically it's not weird, but it's kind of weird. So I gave this book a 4 stars. I think it's pretty good. I really like her writing because she writes from different perspectives, which is my favorite kind of books, from each of the cousins' perspectives, and you even go back in time and see it from one of the parents' perspective. Honestly, I feel like they could have elaborated on some stuff in this book, but I think with this and another one of Karen M. McManus's books, she leaves it open for a second book. So if there was another book in this, I would read it for sure. I just talked forever about my first book. Then, if you didn't know, I'm trying to read the Pretty Little Liars series. That's like half of my bookshelf up there. I read the prequel and the first book in January, and then I read 3 of the books in February. So first is Flawless. There's differences from the book to the series, like quite a few differences, so like that's kind of why I wanted to read this book series. I love the TV series, but you know, want to see the differences, and like honestly there's quite a bit that makes it like still interesting to read. I kind of know what's gonna happen, but everything kind of happens in a different way in this book, if that makes, or in these books, if that makes sense. We find out who A is, but the way we find out who A is different than the way we find out who A is in the TV series. Not in this book, but in a different book that I'll talk about. But this one I really like because there's a, sorry, I have notes over there. There's a Sean and Arya romance, which I really like. It's a romance we didn't see in the show, but in the book they sound really compatible, and I really like that romance. Spencer and Ren, I really like their story, but the ending was kind of like, kind of weird. The ending in this book I think is really wild because they kill someone off who is decently important in the TV series, so I don't know what's gonna happen with everything that they're connected to in the TV series if like that just none of that happens in the books. Now that this person's dead, it changes so much that I think it's gonna happen, so we'll see what actually happens. This book I gave a 4 stars. I wrote down if A is the same in the books to who it is in the TV series. It's quite obvious in this book. But yeah, that book was pretty good. Then I read Perfect in the Pretty Little Liars series. This book was like kind of boring until like the last 50 pages, so I gave this book 3 stars. It wasn't bad, it was just kind of like nothing was really happening. I put in my notes, the stuff with Ezra at the end is pretty wild, and I'm wondering how it's gonna pan out. I know what happens kind of now, not fully, but it's really weird. In this book they're still not really friends, and this is already like what would be like probably the 2nd season. I don't know. Equivalent is there, or equivalent that is there. I don't know how they line up. I know like the first book is like the first episode, but this is probably season 2, maybe season 3. I don't really remember, but they're still not like friends. And I find that very interesting and weird, and I don't really like it because you don't get any scenes of them together, which, you know, is like half of the fun in the series is when they're together. At the end of this book, Emily goes to Iowa, and that's just weird to me. They just completely skipped over this kind of story in the series. I mean, now after finding out everything that happens, it kind of makes sense that they skip over it, but there's some stuff from Iowa that follows her back to Rosewood. Spoiler alert, she doesn't stay in Iowa for very long, but there's some stuff that follows her, so I'm wondering why they didn't fully explore that in the series. In this book, A is nice to some people. Not nice, but like gives some people a break, and like Arya just keeps getting punched down by A like left and right, so A is definitely nicer to some of the girls than she is to others. Ella's like kind of a terrible mom. I mean, Byron's a bad dad. Like Arya's parents are just like not good parents. Obviously, like in these books, none of their parents are really that good, but in this book, Ella is a terrible mom, and I don't like her in this. In the series, she's like okay, but like in this book, terrible. It's kind of weird because Mrs. Marin is actually dating Darren Wilden. He's not like blackmailing her. They're like actually dating. And so I don't know if he's gonna be a bad guy in this series at all like he is in the TV series. But I just thought that was interesting. So yeah, I give this 3 stars because nothing really happened into the last 50 pages, but then the last 50 or so pages is pretty chock full of like drama. So then I read the famous, beloved We Were Liars by E. Lockhart. And I'm gonna say, everyone on book TikTok, you are liars. This book is terrible. This book is not good. I did not like this book. I think my Goodreads, it says it's a 3, and on my Notion I put it as a 2 stars. I think it's a 2.5 stars. This is not good. I don't know why everyone likes it so much. If you don't read mysteries, thrillers, psychological thrillers, if you don't read anything kind of where there's any type of mystery in this book, you will be surprised by this ending. But I knew what was happening as soon as there was one hint. I knew the ending. Also, I hate the writing. I don't like the like poetic way of writing. That's a preference, but I hate it so much. I did read this in a day, but only because I wanted to finish it and get it over with because it was only 250 pages, but I didn't read it in a day because I enjoyed it. I'm gonna get dragged for this opinion, but this book is not good. Don't really get the hype unless you don't really. Here's the thing, book talk is for people that read a lot, so I don't know how they didn't expect that this was gonna be what it is. Unless you read it like a long time ago, but I've read, that's like my genre, thriller, mystery, psychological thriller, anything with a mystery, anything like that, I read it pretty much. So I was just like not surprised by this ending at all. I would say skip this if you are thinking about it. I got it for $10, so it really didn't hurt me to not like it. If you want to know what happens, I'll tell you. I won't say it in the video, but like if you message me on Instagram and want to know what happens, I'll tell you, because I don't think it's worth the read. If the writing wasn't the way that the writing was, this book could probably be 150 pages or less. I just could be way shorter, and it's just kind of, I just don't get it. Personally, do not get it. This is so far the worst book I've read this year. Hopefully it is the worst book I read this year. I don't want to read bad books. Then finally, for my last book, I read Unbelievable in the Pretty Little Liars series. This one's much better than the last book. In this book, you notice a lot of differences from the TV series to the books. In this book, you find out who A is, so it's kind of like more interesting. You obviously don't find out until close to the end, but the rest of the book is still pretty good, so it doesn't really matter. In this book, they kind of are becoming friends, which is better, because I just think it's gonna be way better once they're actually friends and have like scenes together in the books, because you just get like each chapter as each of their perspectives kind of, and so when you see it all together, I think that'll be much better. I will say they're killing characters off left and right in these books, and again, it was another character that I don't know how, it's another character that in the series, the TV series, is pretty big and for the rest of the series, so I don't know what they're gonna do without this character. Obviously there's gonna be a lot of changes. I gave this 4 stars. Yeah, I liked it better than the last one. It's pretty good. I don't know if any of the Pretty Little Liars books are gonna be like 5 stars. I did really like the prequel. Yeah, I gave the prequel 5 stars actually. I don't know if I would, maybe it was 4.5, but like, I don't know. I am currently reading the next book. I'd hope to be done this series by summer, but I don't really know if that's gonna happen, because I do like to mix in other books into my reading, so I'm not just reading Pretty Little Liars. So like this month I'm hopefully reading 3 of them and then 2 other books. If you want to see my March TBR, I'll leave it linked in the description box and in the cards if I remember. 12 books on my bookshelf, and I'm reading 1 currently, so like 12 and a half books to go. So if I read about 3 every month, I've got 4 more months of Pretty Little Liars left, but who knows. That is everything that I read in February. If you liked it, make sure to subscribe and give it a big thumbs up. Again, let me know what you read in February, what you're reading in March. Comment anything down below. Turn on post notifications so you never miss an upload from me. Also, comment down below other videos you'd like to see from me. I feel like I'm going to make a couple reading vlogs, but I don't know what you guys want to see, so let me know down below, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!